Shalom. I want to start off, of course, giving all honor and glory, and praise and worship to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Orcha HaKodash. Double honors to our apostles and our elders, a great millstone, who will teach and sound doctrine. Strong shalom to the hopeful elect, and the rest of the large multitude of men, women, and children, that the Lord will have mercy on these last days. Your brother Kadash coming back with a quick hit through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. Lord willing, is edifying. Don't look back. Show regard to. Alright? This lesson is based off the idea of the times we're living in. Alright? Also, the inspiration comes from something the Elder Yashawamba said some years ago. Okay? Dealing with this topic. And we have to remember the time we're living in, all right, and things that has to take place, and also remembering the history. Romans 15:4, things are written aforetime are written for our learning, that we through patience of the scriptures might have hope, and patience and faith of the scriptures might have hope. You know, we got to remember that when we go into the history, I'm gonna just get that real quick. Romans 15:4, for whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. Right? So the things were written aforetime were written for our learning, so that we can know how to maneuver through the times that we were back on the earth. All right? And the time we're living in a time, as you can see in the background, a pillar of salt. You know, meaning Lot's wife was dehydrated. You know, she became dehydrated. All right. Now the thing is this, and well, that's what happens when and that's what's going to happen to a lot of these people in the modern day. You know, Babylon, Sodom and Gomorrah. You know, all the names that this place have. You know, this is Luke. Because you got to remember that we're gonna go into that word, right? Let's get this first. Luke 17:32. It says, "Remember Lot's wife." Why must we remember Lot's wife? Okay, because Lot's wife is a representation of the 2/3, okay, of Israel, who's gonna have a hard time departing and letting go from the things that they have in this world and the cares of this life. All right, instead of focusing and leaning on Yahweh Shem Shai, trusting in Him. All right, for Him to be our salvation, which He is. Exodus 14:14 said, "The Lord shall fight for us. Hold your peace." Okay, so we know that the Lord is with us. Even though it may not seem like it at times. Wasn't Yahweh Shai on the cross when He didn't answer him? So He was with them. But for the sake of His name and His word, everything must manifest itself in due time. Luke 17:32 remembers Lot's wife. So we must remember to lean on Yahweh Shem Shai and not the cares of this world. Because everything in this life will be burnt up. Everything in this life we can't take with us. We're not Egyptians. We're not going to bury ourselves with our items. Okay, whatever other culture did these things. We know that nothing in this kingdom is going to manifest itself or maneuver in the kingdom of heaven, man. Everything here is corrupt. We eat our defiled bread amongst the Gentiles. But you're going to have individuals who are going to hold fast to the cares of this life, man. So the Lord warns us and told us to remember Lot's wife. All right, don't look back, man. Don't look, okay, for the things that you're leaving behind. You know, what did Yahushua tell the rich young man? He said, you know, the young man said he kept all the commandments. Well, what did Yahushua say? If you would be perfect, right? If you would be perfect, okay, sell all that you have and come follow me, right? So if we follow Yahushua, we are not to look back at our old ways. We are not to look back at our old life. We are not to glory in those things. We are not to look upon the things that we might be leaving behind, whether it's family, friends, items, okay, all these different things that Jake tend to serve more than the Most High, the creation more than the Creator. You know, these things hinder us from salvation when we take hold in these things. That's why we must have tunnel vision in a sense. We must stay looking. We must stay direct until the task at hand. Okay. This is Luke 17:32. Remember Lot's wife. Whosoever shall seek to save his life shall lose it, and whosoever shall lose his life shall preserve it. So we must lose our life so that we can preserve it. We're preserving it for that greater reward. This is Genesis 19:26. But his wife looked back from behind him, and she became a pillar of salt. Okay, I'm not going to go into the whole thing for the sake of time, but this is when the Most High rained down fire and brimstones from heaven upon Sodom and Gomorrah, man. All right, because when you go into that word, you go into the blue letter. All right, let's get this in the blue letter. Genesis 19:26. Let's go into this word, which is the inspiration, one of the inspirations for this lesson. All right, so this is it says, I'm gonna read it again. Genesis 19:26. But his wife looked back from behind him, and she became a pillar of salt. Right. So the Lord dehydrated her. Okay. So it says to look, regard, to look, right? To regard, it says show regard to, pay attention to, consider. You see? Consider. So that word, don't look back. When you go into the Strong's definition, it says to regard with pleasure, favor, or care. You see? Have respect, you know. So when she looked back, she favored the things that she was leaving behind versus what Yahweh Bashim Yahushua was saving her from, saving them from, and bringing them into. You see? So we as men of the Lord are seers and visionaries, and we look forward instead of backwards. We look forward to the things that the Lord has in store for us versus trying to get it in this lifetime right now. You see? That's why we have to remember Lot's wife, because we have to remember that it's a greater reward ahead of us, not behind us. The things behind us is what got us in this state in the first place. You see? So we have to disattach or disengage from the whole mindset of Esau Edom. This because Jake is doing nothing more, nothing less than walking in the mindset of Esau Edom. They're not holding to the ways of the Lord. This is 2 Esdras 2:36. Flee the shadow of this world, receive joyfulness. The joyfulness of your glory, I testify my Savior openly. So that's why the Lord said, remember Lot's wife, man. You see? Because we flee the shadow. We must flee the things behind us. When we just went into that definition, what is one of the things that it said? It says to regard with pleasure, favor, or care. So when you go into Genesis 19:26, that word don't look back goes to what? Show regard to, or show some type of care for the things that you're leaving behind. Right? You're going to have Jakes that's literally going to be thinking like Egyptians and going to be trying to take these items with them, man. All right? All their investments and all the things that they so-called worked so hard for in Esau's society. It's going to be hard for Jake to get that up. And I mentioned the parable. I mentioned the story dealing with the rich man and Yahushua, man. You know, it's very hard for that young man to follow Yahushua because why? He was invested, okay? He was invested, man. Matter of fact, let's do this real quick. Let's see what this word invest means. invested definition. It says invest. Let me see. Yeah, provide or endow someone or something with a particular quality or attribute, right? So these people are endowed with, with the cares of this world. They're provided these things, these gifts from Esau, Edom, and we know the scripture said, "Gift destroyeth the heart," man. So they're attached to these things. Matter of fact, one more, it says, let's get that in the Apocrypha real quick. In Sirach. This is Sirach. And this is what this whole agenda is about. It's trying to get, the elect virgins of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, the elect of God, as the scripture say in Galatians 6, to what? Be intertwined with his M-A-R-K, right? And what is that? That's the ultimate goal to complete this NWO, right? It says Sirach 27:2, as a nail sticketh fast between the joinings of the stones, so doeth sin stick close between buying and selling. So the things of this life, all right, the cares of this life are gonna burn up with the judgment of the Lord, man. So that's why the Lord told us in Luke, what we read in Luke 17, to remember Lot's wife. So when we went into Genesis 19, we showed that when Lot's wife actually looked back, what happened? When she looked back, when you go to that word, it says what? To regard, show regard to, man. Consider, pay attention to. That she wasn't paying attention to the voice of the Lord, all right, the leadership of the Lord. She turned back and what? It says what? To regard with pleasure, favor, or care. Look intently at, meaning like, yo, I'm leaving behind something I highly care about. Man, the men of the Lord don't give a shit about nothing in this kingdom, man, that we have here, man. If certain loved ones gotta go, man, you gotta go, man, because it's the will of the Lord. So that's how our mindset have to be. We have to be tunnel vision according to this work, man. We have to stay focused, man. When you go to 1 Corinthians, real quick, like I said, this is just a quick hit. When you go to 1 Corinthians 3:19, let me see. It says, yeah, because Lot's wife showed what? The lack of what? Wisdom. You understand? And we understand when you go to Wisdom of Solomon 19, it tell you that, matter of fact, let's just grab that. I mean, not 19, Wisdom of Solomon 9:18. For so the ways of them which lived on the earth were reformed, and men were taught the things that are pleasing unto thee, and were saved through wisdom. So we're saved through what? Wisdom, man. The wisdom is what? Knowledge and wisdom should be the stability of our time. Isaiah 33:6. So if she would have just applied wisdom, which is who? Yahweh Shai, that inspiration, that, and you go into that word inspire or inspiration, it goes into the what? The breath, divinely breathed into. Okay, so if she was divinely breathed into and had the wisdom, she would have been saved. But she didn't have the wisdom. Matter of fact, let me just get this 1 Corinthians 3 real quick. Because it says, 1 Corinthians 3:19, for the wisdom of this world is foolishness with the Most High. So she didn't lean on what? Wisdom of the heavens. She leaned on what? A carnality aspect of life. Okay? For the wisdom of this world is foolishness with the Most High, for it is written, he taketh the wise in their own craftiness. Matter of fact, let's get that in 2 Corinthians. 2 Corinthians, right? 2 Corinthians 1. Let's go straight to the point. 2 Corinthians 1:12. For our rejoicing is this. So this is our rejoicing. The testimony of our conscience, right? Our conscience. Let's go into that word conscience real quick. Let's get that in the blue letter, man. What's the 2 Corinthians 1:12? Let's see what it says. I haven't went into this, but we're going to find out. It says conscience, right? The soul as distinguishing between what is morally good and bad. So the conscience. 2 Corinthians 1:12. for our rejoicing is this, the testimony of our conscience. And what's the true testimony? The prophecies. You see, so when they were moving out of Sodom and Gomorrah, when the Most High directed, right, the men of the Lord to move how they were moving, Lot's wife, she was disengaged, man. She wasn't in tune with the spirit. You see, she wasn't in tune with the spirit. She wasn't like the script, like the definition just said, according to conscience, right? According to 2 Corinthians 1:12, she wasn't able to her soul wasn't able to distinguish between what is morally good and bad. You see, so she was we brought it out earlier. She was heavy. Her eyes were heavy set on the things of her past, the things she was leaving behind, or even the judgment of the Lord, or whatever, man. The point is that we're not to look back, man. We're supposed to stay focused in this ministry, man. We're not supposed to go back into the world, take our hand off the plow, return to our old vomit, go back into hanging out with old friends that we was niggas with. No, man. Yo, we supposed to turn it up, man. Apostle Tahar said what? Through the spirit of power, Yahweh Shah, this is the year to turn up. We're supposed to turn on our dials all the way up, man. Right? It says, the soul as distinguishing between what is morally good and bad, prompting to do the former and shun the latter, commending one, condemning the other, the conscience. That's dope right there, man. So when we go back to it, it says 2 Corinthians 1:12, for our rejoicing is this, the testimony of our Lord. The testimony of our conscience, right? That in simplicity and godly sincerity, not with fleshly wisdom. See, Lot's wife showed fleshly wisdom. And you're going to find out that 2/3 of our people are going to apply the same method. They're going to apply fleshly wisdom. They're going to apply the things that they learned in Esau's education asylums. All right, and whether they learn so-called worldly wisdom from their cousins and so forth, they're going to apply this fleshly wisdom to the day of the Lord. They're going to apply this fleshly wisdom to Jacob's trouble. They're going to apply this fleshly wisdom when that MOT to the B is implemented in a magnitude scale, right? A mandatory scale where you have no choice but to maneuver this way or that way. You know? They're not gonna know how to apply spiritual wisdom to these things. It says, but by the grace of the Most High, we have hid our conversation in the world and more abundantly to youward. You see, so we hold our conversation according to the ways of the Most High. It told you that. Matter of fact, we're gonna close with that 2 Peter. But let me get 2 more real quick. Let's get that Mark. Dealing with the parable with the sower. Let's go straight into the parable. This Mark 4:13. It says, and he said unto them, know ye not this the parable? And how then will ye know all parables? The sower sowed the word, so the prophet sowed the word, man. Right? The word was sold unto Lot's wife, right? The word was sold unto the individuals who come up to the camps and and that you dialogue with at jobs and standing in a line at the grocery store, whatever, man. Right, the word is sown how the Spirit wanted to sow. It said, so the sower sowed the word, which are the prophets. And these are they by the wayside where the word is sown. But when they have heard, Satan cometh immediately, right? And taketh away the word that was sown in their hearts, meaning their minds. Okay, so we're going to find out, Lord willing, I can remember how to, where exactly at, but we're going to find out that let me read that verse again. Yeah, it says that was sown in their heart. So we're going to find out that we brought it out kind of earlier, but dealing with the wisdom, man. The wisdom is going to be able to deliver us, man. She didn't apply wisdom, so we must learn from this. We read it, Romans 15:4. It says, and these are they by the wayside where the word is sown, but when they have heard, Satan come in immediately and take away the word that was sown in their minds. It says, and these are they likewise which are sown on stony ground, who when they have heard the word immediately receive it with gladness. So look, so she received, so that she was about to be saved out of this situation and redeemed. You understand? Are people like, I'm talking to my pops, you know what I'm saying, whatever, they hear what I'm saying, right? But do they hear me, right? Do they understand, right? No, they don't understand, because they haven't applied one one thing that was brought to them, man. And who knows, the Lord will have mercy on whom you have mercy on. We understand that. But here it says they received it, immediately received it with gladness. But what happened? And have no root in themselves, and so endure but for a time, only before a moment. Afterward, when affliction or persecution arises for the word's sake, immediately they are offended. Now look, let's get that in the blue letter real quick. Let's get that word offended. Mark 4. And let's go straight to the point. Let's get that word offended. 17. This says, bear with me. All right, I think it's at the bottom. Okay, con. So this that word offended. It says this is G4625, right? Scandalizo, right? It says to put a stumbling block or impediment in the way. You see, to put a stumbling block or impediment in the way. So Yahushua said, blessed are those that are not offended in me, man. You know, roughly going into that, man. You know, meaning that Yahushua is not a stumbling block unto your salvation. You know, meaning you believe on him, you follow him. He's not someone that you deem not as a prophet or not as the son of the Most High, not you know, whatever the wicked scribes and Pharisees was trying to make him not to be, or to be, being in, they called him Beelzebub and so forth. He was a stumbling block, a rock of offense unto the wicked individuals who thought like Esau, man, who think like Esau, like their father the devil, as the scriptures say, like Yahushua said. So it says immediately they are offended. So they are what? It says to entice. It says, I'm gonna read it from the top. It says to put a stumbling block or impediment in the way upon which another may trip and fall. See? So now Satan came in, and now he called it by him. You allow him to enter in. He caused you to fall. You see, he caused you to stumble, right? When it was time to apply the wisdom of that word that was sown into you, you didn't apply it at the right time. So now you fail. It was a stumbling block. You're confused. You don't know what to do. You see, when things arise according to the prophecies, and when persecution come upon the men of the Lord and their families and so forth, or whatever, however the Lord play it out, you're gonna stumble at what's going on, and you're gonna fold, man. That's why we pray every day, Lord willing, we don't fall in that lot. We fall in a lot of what? The hopeful elect. Because it's the terrible thing to actually look your son in the face and knowing you about to eat him, man. Or your wife, or whatever you about to do. It's a terrible feeling knowing that you once had the spirit and now you don't have the spirit, and you're not even really gonna even know it. These people is moving around this earth with these scriptures, and once we're in camps, and they're completely different, completely bugged out, reprobate, and they don't even know it, man. So that's the worst thing. That's the worst thing you can have is what? The plague of a mind. The plague of the mind, as the scriptures say. That's the worst plague. So now you immediately are offended. You will immediately fall, man. What other things they got in here? It says to entice to sin, to cause a person to begin to distrust and desert one whom he ought to trust and obey. You see, and that's what it says, and have no root in themselves, and so endure but for a time. Afterward, when affliction or persecution ariseth for the word's sake, prophecy, immediately they are offended. You see, they don't really believe. So that's why Lot's wife looked back, because she was at all. It was too much, right? It says, and these are they which are sown among thorns, cursed, such as hear the word, and the cares of this world and the deceitfulness of riches. You see, the cares of this world, the things that Jake hold on to, man, are going to be their downfall. And that's what we're going to close out. Well, not close out with. Matter of fact, let me get this quick precept real quick in Ezekiel 7 before we finish that. That's what I was thinking of. In 19, Ezekiel 7 and 19, they shall cast their silver in the streets, and their gold shall be removed. Their silver and their gold shall not be able to deliver them in that day of the wrath of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. You're not going to be able to look back and take the things with you that you worked so hard for in Esau society, man. Not the new Nazareth. Like, what's that? I think it was HOI that was doing that. I could be wrong, right? It was a couple years ago. Whoever, man. Whatever these new concepts outside of the scriptures that Jake like to come up with. None of it is going to be relevant, and none of it is going to get you salvation, and none of it is going to enter into the kingdom of heaven, man. It's vanity, as the scriptures say. Vexation of spirit. It says, they shall not satisfy their souls, neither fill their bowels, because it is the stumbling block of their iniquity. You see? So the riches that Jacob hold to and these people around uphold to is what? The riches. You know, their investments. Okay? And that goes into a plethora of things, from houses to cars to women, you know, to families, to jobs, you know, careers, or whatever. The investments that people make in this world, it's going to be a stumbling block upon the day, and when the day of the Lord arrive, it's going to be a stumbling block unto them. Some people are going to try to buy their way into freedom, man. And they're going to try to buy salvation, man. But it's going to be a stumbling block. They're not going to know what to do. So let me go back to that real quick, and we're going to close out. This is Mark 4, and let's go back to where we was at. Because I thought of that when we read Mark 4 and 17. Immediately they are offended, you know, because when the prophecy started to manifest themselves, you know, the only thing they have to their name is what? Their investments, man. Well, our investments is in the heavens, man. We're storing our heavenly shekels, man. You know, so that we can cash in when the Lord come. And Lord willing, we have enough coins, you know what I'm saying, to enter into VIP, man. You know. It says, in the cares of this world and the deceitfulness, Mark 4:19, of riches. So the deceitfulness of riches, because the scriptures tell you that the love of money is the root to all evil, right? But it also tell you that money is a defense, okay? But it can become deceitful, and it can overtake you if you become consumed by what it offer, what it you know, what avenues that it opened for you, man. I saw this dude on social media, you know, when I was fresh in the world. I supported, you know, he's one of those Israelite rappers. You know, when you fresh, Jake don't know no better. You got a lot of zeal, you know, supported him just as a brother, you know. But hey, man, as time goes on, however many years pass by, what happened? Dude got tattoos on his neck, and you know what I'm saying? He rapping, you know, still rapping it like, but the point is that he's waxing worse and worse, and it's like these people are stuck in time, man. You see, because why? Money came, and now you don't even know what's the true way anymore, man. No scriptures is coming out, no edification. Now it's all about you, man. It says, in the cares of this world and of the deceitfulness of riches, man, and the lust of other things entering in, choke the word, and it become unfruitful. So now you can't multiply. And if you can't multiply, therefore the work and the word of the Father can't multiply through you to other people, mainly the elect. And therefore what? You're just a plant that needs to just wither, is about to wither and die, man, because you're unprofitable. No one can eat from you. You see? No one can, you know, survive or live off what you're giving them. Therefore you're deaf. Let's close out with 2 Peter, man. So we can't look back, man. We got to remember that Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. What did Moses say in Exodus 14? He said, look, man. He said, look, see your salvation, Yahweh Shai. He said, your salvation is near, man. He said, the Egyptians that you see, you won't see them no more. So rejoice, man. Don't look back. Keep looking forward, man. 2 Peter 3:10. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up. These things that you see, these works, are going to be burned up. The elements, these elements make up people, computers, cars, all the things in this world are elements, and they're going to be burned up, cleansed, purged. You understand? So the things that we have in this life, we can't be attached to it, man. We gotta detach. We gotta flee the shadow, flee that protection or that umbrella that this society has over us, and we have to come under the umbrella of the Father. He said, abide under the shadows of thy wings, man. I abide under the shadows of thy wings. We go under the protection of the umbrella of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Those wings being his chariots. We trust in Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, and trust, like the scriptures say, the angels encampeth around those who fear him. So we trust that his wings are covering us from the covering cast, which is Esau Edom, as he tries to block out the sun and block out wisdom and block out the understanding of life, take out natural ways and put in artificial ways, take out the natural and the true people of the Lord and put in artificial people. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversations and godliness, looking for and hasting until the coming day of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness. So if we're looking for this type of vision or this type of thing to manifest into our reality, why in the hell will we look back? Why would we care for anything that's behind us? Why would we be like Lot's wife? Why would we be like Lot's wife? We won't, man. We will be like a man of the Lord, and for you women that believe in this doctrine, man, and believe in Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, his doctrine that we push through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. There's nothing else left in this world to do but turn up, man, and turn up for the Lord is what I'm speaking about. So Lord willing is edifying. Remember Lot's wife. Don't be attached to the things of this world, not your job, careers, families, daughters, sons, wives, whoever, whatever is, taking your attention and your time away from your first love, which is this truth, man. The scripture said we must ravish her love, man. Ravish her with love. We must take hold onto these scriptures, and embrace it, because it's going to come a time where we can't access a lot of this information that we so are spoiled with in today's society, man. So Lord willing is edifying. Remember, don't look back, and meaning don't show regards or be attached or engaged with the things that you may have in your possession at the time. Instead, we look forward towards Yahweh Shai, like he told the rich young man, like I quoted earlier. He said, sell all that you have and follow me. So we sell all that we have mentally, spiritually, and there's going to come a time where we physically have to do this. But until that time, we disattach spiritually, mentally, and we follow Yahweh Shai. We already sold these things in our mind already. That's why it don't affect us when these things go away. Lord willing is edifying. Till next time, shalom.